What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a video. I hope everyone's doing well. I apologize, I have not been on lately. Work and life gets in the way, as per usual. I say that all the time. But I wanted to show you guys an item that just arrived from Collector Archive Services, and it's a beauty. The case is unbelievable. This is a 1980 die-cast Slave One that I had Collector Archive Services put into a beautiful case for me, and this turned out great. The die-cast series from Kenner, it's a great line. This is my very first true Kenner die-cast item. I've got a Sakuda die-cast Japanese model kit, but this is a true licensed, standard kind of licensed item that I've always wanted one of these Slave Ones, but I could never find one that was in good condition. And I've been looking for, I guess, since about January for one. And this is the end result after Collector Archive got a hold of it. The diecast series started in 1978. There was 3 waves of diecast items, starting with like the Land Speeder and the Y-Wing and a few others in Wave 1. Wave 2 included the diecast TIE Bomber, the Millennium Falcon, and the Star Destroyer. And then this is part of Wave 3 that came out in 1980, 1981-ish for The Empire Strikes Back. There were no Return of the Jedi die-cast items, so they kind of discontinued it after The Empire Strikes Back. The Slave One was the third vehicle of Wave 3. The other 2 die-cast vehicles as part of Wave 3 were the Cloud Car, from Bespin, and also, and then the Slave One came out, and then shortly after that, the Snow Speeder from the Hoth battle scene came out, and that was the last of it. There is an unproduced Darth Vader TIE Advance with smaller wings. There are some mint on card examples of that unproduced, unreleased figure or die-cast vehicle, but in terms of true retail mint on card items that were available, it's really those 11. And I found a photo from a great website that has all of them lined up, and as well as a few carded examples that I'll kind of intersperse in this video after I get done making it. But anyway, long story short is I saw this case style on Collector Archive Services website probably about 2 years ago, and I was like, wow, man, I'd love to have something like that. I've always worried about the die-cast vehicles just because of their weight. I've always worried about getting one that is mint on card. I've had a few buddies, actually, 2 or 3 buddies, who've had mint on card die-cast vehicles fall off the blister inside, an AFA case, and one of them wasn't even graded or anything. It was just shipped in a standard star case, and it still fell off the bubble. So it terrifies me to get one on the card unless it has the bubble blister protection. So I was like, well, if we're going to start with a die-cast vehicle, it's certainly got to be the Slave One, the first one I want to get. And maybe just go for a loose one to kind of keep the cost down, and to add one and get a case like this that will look great. And it's much more elaborate of a case than what AFA offers. One of these Slave Ones just sold on eBay for quite a bit of money that was AFA graded before they stopped doing loose graded die-cast figures or die-cast vehicles. And it was just a plain box. And no offense to AFA, that's not the intent of what I'm bringing up here. But it was just a acrylic case that held the ship inside, and it didn't look very impressive to me. And whereas I saw this on Collector Archive Services website, and it just blew me away when I saw the case, and it was very, very reasonable to get it cased like this. So I knew I wanted to send it to Collector Archive Services since they're the only ones in the U.S. that are grading loose die-cast vehicles right now. AFA kind of stopped doing that. And I knew that I wanted this case style. But the issue is finding one of these Slave Ones that's in good enough condition that I think warrants going ahead and buying it and sending it in. And I finally did find one recently, and it turned out just amazing. The biggest hang-up that you'll find with the die-cast Slave One is that not the outer wings or the bottom part of the body, but this centerpiece where the cockpit is, that piece tends to get very, very yellowed for whatever reason. It's just, you know, the plastics, or the die cast over time, the paint or whatever, gets very, very yellowed. This one has got just a very, very faint amount of yellowing. It's hardly any at all. And you can see there, if I can get the camera angle better, you can see Boba Fett up there inside the cockpit, so that makes it even cooler. But this case just turned out great. One of the things when I saw this case on AFA's, on Collector Archive Services website, the guns were not kind of held in position, and so the one on their website, the guns were actually pointed the wrong way. So when I sent this in, I requested that they add a piece to keep the guns going forward, just to kind of keep the look in keeping with how the Slave One looks and operates. And so they added this piece here to kind of keep the guns in place. And so I want to say thank you to Collector Archive for doing that. They didn't charge me anything else to do that, but it turned out great. But what an awesome case. It came back with an 85, as you see here, so a near mint kind of score, but just an absolutely incredible case. I love this kind of slanted ramp that they mounted it on, and you can see how they use this kind of piece here behind the Slave One to kind of hold it in place and bracket it in place. But just an amazing case. And it surely took a relatively inexpensive item and turned it into a piece of art. And I think it was money well spent. I was able to pick up this Slave One for about $60, I believe, somewhere in there. And that's on the high end. I mean, you can find them for much less expensive than that. But to get one with almost no yellowing at all, you can see just a very faint amount of yellowing on that body versus the bottom portion of the Slave One. But to find one in such mint condition, I just could not say no to it, and was willing to pay an extra $10 or $15 for it. But what's also cool about it is that the way they cased it, it allows the fins to bounce up and down, just like he does when taking off and so forth. So just an incredible case. And I just thought they did a fantastic job with it, and they graded it fairly quickly, and it got here safe and sound. And so I just want to make sure to say thank you to those guys for doing top quality work. It's just a really, really awesome item. And you can see all the paint details and all the kind of sculpt on the die-cast metal. But really, really awesome. And there's the back of it in more detail. There is a date stamp on the back of that says 1980 Kenner. And you can see the rivets that hold the Slave One together. But anyway, that was really all I had. I just wanted to show that to you, and it's a very nice economical way to add a graded die-cast, loose graded die-cast item to someone's collection if you wanted to, and present it in such a way that it's almost like a piece of art. I mean, it's just incredible, and I could not be happier with it. They do loose grade any of the die-cast vehicles, all 11 of them. I don't think all of them are on the website, but I did see like the Cloud Car and the Snow Speeder on their website, and the case style is very similar with this ramp. I think that they charge, if memory serves, it was $80 to do this case, and I think it's worth every penny of $80 to me to have this kind of presentation. But there's the label here. If you wanted to see that in more detail, it's 1980 Kenner Star Wars die-cast vehicle Slave One, loose graded 85. So I'm actually I always say when one of the grading companies comes back with a score that's too high or too low, I always tend to note it out. I really thought that this would even score higher than an 85, and I'm not complaining by any means. 85 is a great score, but I really thought that this would get an 85 plus at a minimum, because I could not find hardly anything wrong with this vehicle. But it's probably fairly scored. I mean, who knows what they found, but just an incredible piece. So anyway, I'll do one more kind of rotation just so everyone can take a look at it. But I do have some other really cool things coming back fairly soon from Collector Archive that I will be sure to show you guys. I don't know when they'll get here, probably towards the end of this week or early next week. But I think it's a total of 16 items that'll be here. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that, and I'll have kind of my slideshow at the end to show you in more detail some of the beautiful features of this case. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.